Good afternoon, dear visitors. Let me present you the main results of the study on the topic, the elements of education digital transformation through future IT specialist involvement in relation to e-learning tools development. Under the conditions of war, the digital transformation of education has acquired particular importance. In particular, the pandemic caused by COVID-19 was an essential condition for the digital transformation of education. However, the challenges facing the educational process in Ukraine's higher education institutions today are entirely different than they were a year ago. The full-scale invasion of the Russian army into Ukraine showed that the educational process is simply impossible without the digital transformation of the educational process. Thus, a significant role is played by developing a new digital educational resources that can be used in the educational process of institutions of different levels, from kindergartens to universities. In addition, today English is an integral part of our life. It is recognized as an international language, and some of its words are also found in everyday life. Furthermore, international scientific cooperation and the current development of digital technologies necessitate the creation of various digital educational resources, including educational resources for learning a foreign language and electronic multilingual explanatory dictionaries. The need for electronic multilingual explanatory dictionaries is due not only to the need to objectify research, optimize and rationalize the professional work of a specialist, but also to the growing demand of an ordinary user for adapted, objective, reliable information of a linguistic nature in the form of such dictionaries. Furthermore, creating simple and easy to configure dictionaries will provide access to an array of factual material, which will help to optimize the work of specialists in various specialties. Moreover, the need to develop digital educational resources for learning a foreign language will help improve the linguistic competence of participants in the educational process. At the same time, the development of such resources will become an integral part of the digital transformation of the educational process. Involving students of IT specialties in developing digital educational resources will help improve their professional and linguistic competencies. Third, students will reflect on their vision of learning a foreign language using such means. Therefore, it contributes to the digital transformation of higher education, since the digital transformation of education consists precisely of the development of significantly new electronic resources for educational purposes. In their professional training, future IT specialists annually carry out various course projects. At the end of the training, they perform qualifying work and participate in the implementation of collective projects within the framework of the study of individual disciplines. In particular, during the training, students can develop digital educational resources when completing course projects and performing qualification papers and other types of work. In particular, students of IT specialties for the year 2019-2022 develop such digital educational resources, including those for learning foreign languages. The above list is not complete. The authors chose only those they considered relevant precisely in the framework of the digital transformation of education. Let us consider specific examples of students' development of digital educational resources and analyze their feasibility of developing and using them within the digital transformation of education. Thus, the first-year students of the specialty 1-to-1 software engineering, as part of studying the course object-oriented programming and writing a course project within this course, developed applications for learning a foreign language. Let's consider the possibilities of the English learning application. After launching the application, the user can see the main tab, which displays all available topics for study, navigation buttons, and a line for searching word sets by name. When you click on one of the topics, the application displays the words available in this topic and a search string for the desired word. In addition, new buttons appear for interacting with words and topics. Here, the user can learn words and their translation within the selected subjects. When you click the Learn button, the user's attention is presented with a test for learning words. In this case, one should choose the correct translation of the specified word from the 4 options. If the answer is correct, then the next question is displayed. If not, a message with the correct answer is displayed first. The Match button opens a game in which you need to determine a couple of words in Ukrainian and respectively in English. The Start button is available to start the game. Immediately notice the game takes place on time. In this game, you need to press a couple of words that correspond to each other in Ukrainian and English respectively. If the pair is chosen correctly, both words disappear from the screen. After completing the task of the game, the user will receive a message about the time in which he completed it. Using the Edit button, the user can edit and delete words and edit the name of the set itself. While pressing the Done button will write the changes to the database. In addition, the user can delete a specific topic by entering it, clicking on the Delete button and confirming the action. Of those not considered in the initial window, the following buttons are available: Add and Test. The first one opens a form for creating a new set of words, and where you need to enter the desired name and few words and click the Done button. The second button, Test, allows you to take a test on the selected topic and with a certain number of questions in the test. The test implies the user has already learned the words of a given topic, and questions of one of three possible forms are available. Choosing one correct answer out of 4, entering the translation of the word, and choosing true, false to match 2 words. After the user has answered the last question, a window will open for him displaying the test results. Let's consider the possibilities of another application, electronic multilingual terminological dictionary. The main screen displays all existing topics, a search bar for searching a topic by title, a drop-down list for selecting the order in which topics are published, and a button for adding new topics. When you select one of the topics, the terms of the selected topic and the search bar for searching for a single word are displayed. There are also new buttons for interacting with words, and the top panel with a search tab and the ability to select a language. Add a new term, delete a term or a topic, and the back button that returns the user to the original window. Clicking on one of the terms allows you to view the definition up to the selected term. There are several buttons here. One that allows you to edit a term, with which you can delete a term, which allows you to notice the term is favorite. The user can view all selected terms in a separate window. In this case, you select a term for re-registration in the drop-down list. It will be impossible, by the way, to use the Create Term button. If the edited user leaves one of the new term or new definition fields empty, then the corresponding field will remain unchanged in the definition selected for editing. However, if you do not fill in any of them, a window will open where the user will be asked to enter data to continue the operation. After a new term is created, the drop-down list is updated with the newly created term. The new term is automatically selected, which the user may have completed in other languages. Separately, it is worth noting that the fact that the dictionary was divided into 3 languages: French, English, and Ukrainian. It should be noted that in both cases all data were stored in an external databases. This even though first-year students have not yet studied the database as part of their training. That is, the development of such projects contributes to the organization of their working time to get acquainted with new material, interest in new knowledge and skills, improve programming skills and databases, that is, the development of their professional competencies as IT specialists. And the availability of ready-made digital educational resources allows using them in the educational process to form the linguistic competence of not only future IT specialists, but also, for example, applied linguists. In particular, the first English learning tool was used to teach English to future IT professionals to improve their language skills. The second tool, electronic multilingual terminological dictionary, was used in teaching English for future applied linguists to improve their digital and linguistic competence. In both cases, the tools were offered to students for discussion as experts to determine what they would like to see in these tools and whether they were comfortable using them. Thus, students noted that in the first application, they would like to see the choice of language, and in the second case, they would like to see more than 3 languages. It, of course, is not critical, and it can be improved in further modification of the proposed applications. Furthermore, since all data is stored in the database, there are no problems with adding a field or a table. To confirm or refute the practicality of developing and using digital educational resources, micro-questions of the students were conducted regarding what the development of these digital resources gave them and why they chose such topics and such functionality. As a result, it was found that the primary goal of developing such tools is is a convenient format, the ability for the user to create and group words into collections. As a result, you can focus on certain words and topics. Furthermore, when developing such tools, one should pay attention to the fact that the words in the game are better remembered, which makes it possible to memorize better and practice already learned words. Moreover, when developing such applications, one should consider the possibility of choosing a topic for testing knowledge in the form of tests or other forms. As for the second application within the framework of the research work, creation of an electronic multilingual terminological dictionary, this tool was immediately tested and compared with other prototypes. The military class makes its adjustments to the educational process. Moreover, teachers should continue to search for new teaching aids for the educational process. Therefore, the development of digital educational resources is today a top priority for IT specialists, which in turn is a component of the digital transformation of education in general. The search, development, and use of digital educational resources are complex and require further study. Nevertheless, all these stages contribute to the development of professional and linguistic competencies of future IT specialists and their self-development, which is necessary for their future professional activities. The prospects for further research include comparing the developed tools by students of different courses for the correlation and dynamics of developing their professional competencies. Thanks for your attention.